like a bug,
like a roach.
like a cockroach.
Yeah.
Because there's also weed roaches, you know.
Yeah. Cockroach.
So I just want to discern.
Look at the
see what the
size of this
difference is.
bitch, bro. It's fucking crazy.
your-
My house in New York.
Of course it is. Disgusting place.
Look at the fucking thing.
Ah,
Look at how
God.
big it is. It's massive.
That's a lemon.
That's a lemon.
Oh my lord.
It's the size of a lemon. Yeah, why do you think aliens are always pictured with all pupil? You know what I mean?
What?
Why do you think aliens are always pictured with like all the pupil? You know what I mean? Like the
Good
grays
question.
were all black. Is that all pupil? Do you think, or do you think it's like
It's a very, very
a
good question,
different
actually.
eye? You know what I
Well,
mean?
you'd have to think that if they came from another planet, their eyes would be, if you look at a dog.
Well,
right?
why though? Because every animal on this planet has basically the same eye structure.
Not necessarily. That's far from true.
Pretty much. I mean, I'm not saying like obviously they have different purposes, but I'm saying like, or at least
Eyes-
every mammal.
Yeah, that's what.
At least
so,
every
So when
mammal.
you start talking about mammals versus,
But even
fish
though like
versus-
even like lizards though, they have like
yeah, but so
a definite
remember
like pupil, a definite iris.
Remember when we were talking about Virginia and the being that they saw had red eyes?
Yeah.
Now, what that says to me is that it came from a planet that had an older star, so not as bright,
Okay.
right? So their planet is more. It doesn't have daylight. It's a eternal darkness, right?
Well,
so their
It would
eyes
still have
adapt.
daylight though, right?
No.
If the star's
Well,
older,
but
it's still
but
emitting light.
So on their planet,
It's just a dimmer light.
yeah, it would look like dusk all the time,
Yeah.
right? So dusk would be the daytime.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
And
That's
their
how
eyes
bright
need
it
to
would
like
get.
adjust so
And their
they
eyes
let
would
more
adjust.
light in or whatever.
Right.
But that would make them reflective, like a cat at night. Like their eyes reflect.
Yeah. Kind
So,
of.
but their pupil gets bigger. So what I'm saying is it all pupil? Is
I
that
guess
what
I
they
don't know.
evolved to?
I
You know
don't
what I
know.
mean? Because that's what happens with a cat. Their pupils dilate, and the shit reflects off the back of their eye.
Yeah, no.
And they're able to
it's
see.
a very good question. It's a very good question. But welcome back to Total Disclosure. Well, down the rabbit hole with Ty and Dusty. Dusty's back in studio,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Good to have you back in the house, and we want to throw a shout out to all the listeners. Last week's episode, another record breaker.
Hey,
Another
good shit.
record.
Good shit.
You weren't a part of that one, but it was a huge
Hey,
episode.
a win for the scene, bro.
Yeah, it was a huge episode because John Ramirez, the ex-CIA intelligence officer, claims or is making suggestions that the big alien reveal will happen by 2027. And basically,
2027.
yes, like the government.
Like they'll just come out and be like, "Hey, we're here, guys."
No. So he did not say that. A lot of people tried to say he said that.
Okay.
But we'll even watch the clip if you want.
Sure.
Basically, what he says is that it seems like all signs are pointing towards that they know something's on its way. They're seeing it in the distance. Maybe,
Something like. What do you mean by something? Is on?
because you know how we can track asteroids?
Sure. Yeah.
Well, we can. It's safe to say the same could be
You
said
can
about
track
a
ships
ship.
and stuff. Yeah. Okay.
So what if a big ship is on its way? They know it. They've targeted it and tracked its trajectory. Know it's gonna get here by 2027.
So are we
and
talking
they're
like a
shaping-
moon-sized ship, like something
don't
like
know.
so big it can't get here fast?
It's at least blocking out stars.
Like
and
how
it's
fast is it
going.
coming?
It's traveling probably at the speed of light. It would still take thousands and thousands.
So,
of
but it's
years.
yeah, okay. So it's coming from like a few light
right
years away. Okay.
So
gotcha.
that's one of the theories. But they say that. Think
Uh.
about this. Think about our society right now.
Yeah.
Not much impresses us. So Like, we see a video
We've
of...
seen it all, yeah.
Yeah, we see a video of lights flying through the sky, and we're like, okay,
Yeah.
show us something better,
Yeah.
right? Our society is becoming more groomed to be like, I mean, we're kind of stubborn. This past year, that's why we're doing the show today, the 2022 in review, because so much shit happened. This would be one of these many things that we're about to talk about would be something that would be talked about for years
Yeah.
if it happened 10 years ago, right? So we're kind of spoiled when it comes to all this shit. I have pages and pages of things that have gone on this year. Like, it's unreal. It's unprecedented.
I know.
Unprecedented. So let's start. We'll start off with
rattle some off, yeah.
We'll start off with one of the more basic ones, but before we get into that, guys, make sure to smash that like button, share the show across social media with your friends, your family, and other people in the government.
Yeah, spread the word, folks.
Yes, and if you're listening on Apple, which, by the way, my analytics say that 80% of our listeners are, please, it helps the show so much for you to leave a 5-star review, and then a few nice words about the show if you like it, or give us some criticism if there's things that we can do better.
Yeah.
I take criticism
This
very
shit
well.
we gotta learn.
Yeah.
For sure.
I've only been doing podcasting for 3 years.
Yeah.
You're not even 2.
I've been doing it for a few months.
Yeah. So, if there's anything that you guys wanna hear from us or let us know. Also, I'll be opening up the voice lines. They're actually already open, but this show isn't live, so I have to let Twitter know when you guys can start calling in, and we'll add that into
That's pretty sick.
add that into the show. So if anyone does call in today, hopefully we can get their thoughts on some of this stuff. But first UFO hearings in 50 plus years. So what does that mean?
What were the first ones? After Roswell?
Yeah, roughly right after Roswell, when General Samford, or I think it was Samford, basically it was they came out and they were like, that famous line, a relatively small number of reports of incredible things by credible people have been made, and those are the reports that we're aiming to solve. Thus, birth Project Blue Book.
Gotcha.
So that was a public-facing UFO task force, if you will, which, it was the first one of its kind. But we later found out that basically Project Blue Book, all it was a way for the government to debunk UFO sightings, right? To make it so... The stigma of the UFO came from Project Blue Book.
Well, I think that would have existed regardless.
No. Well, it would have existed to some, but what if the government...
Like, think about it. That hasn't been a fucking topic in pop or society.
What?
At all. Think about that. Like, before that time period where Roswell happened and all that shit, that was never even I feel like, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but that was never discussed, I feel like, before that time.
Well...
Like, was that ever a topic, like, in the 1800s? Like, hey, guys, I saw some shit in the cornfield the other day.
We don't know.
True.
For the most part. Think about that.
But like, even then, like,
we
think about that's probably
actually.
That probably would have been hush-hush. They would be like, all right,
do.
I'm not going to tell people that. They're going to think I'm crazy or some shit.
Guess who had a UFO sighting?
Who?
Written documents show.
Abe Lincoln.
No. Christopher Columbus.
Really?
Yes. Christopher Columbus, on his trip
he was like, hey,
no, he documented it.
He really wrote it down?
He said, because he had a journal, a captain's log, right? He was a captain. They were literally charting uncharted territory.
Yeah.
So of course they were writing things down, right? And he says that one night, it was a very open, very clear, very calm night. Huh?
Always a clear night.
Always a clear night.
Yeah.
And an orb of light shot down and was at sea level, and he said that he thinks it was guiding him, and it guided him to the new land. That's what he said.
So the aliens caused the genocide.
It's a good way to look at it. It's a good, aliens. You are responsible for the genocide.
They're responsible for the end of the Aztecs.
The white man is no longer the fault.
What if they were wiping them out, bro? The last of the old breed. You know what I mean?
Making way for their experiment.
Yeah.
Huh.
Starting over, you know what I mean? They're probably the last of the old breed.
By the way, that's one of our topics today. Did you hear about the scientists that came out that are saying that we're living right now during the 6th mass extinction? Very scary.
They've been saying that.
Yeah, so we'll get to that.
They've been saying that because, dude, like a new thing goes extinct every fucking day, and like we don't even realize it because we're just chopping shit down, throwing our shit everywhere.
It just freaks me out.
Oh, it's scary.
I don't like hearing that shit.
Well, dude, like think about how much we've clear cut the rainforest. How many animals we just killed and didn't even document. Like those little bugs or frogs and shit that just like are gone in the wind.
The thing about the rainforest too is we haven't even looked as hard as we should.
There's probably a cure to every like illness we could ever conceive in that rainforest, bro. If there's something that kills us, there's something in nature that heals us. That's how it works. It's a balanced system.
It is a balanced system.
Even animals know that. They'll eat fucking different vegetation because their stomach's upset. Because they just know, all right, I'm feeling this way, this will help.
Right, like a natural
We used to know that. We used to all know that.
Very, very
That was the whole introduction of Western medicine, getting away from the herbal and like the snake oils and shit. But realistically, some of them worked.
Yeah. Yeah, different things were trial and error long before.
Like ginger, dude. Ginger helps with upset stomach. I drink ginger ale for hangovers all the fucking time so I don't throw up in the morning.
Yes.
It works.
Yeah. Ginger ale is definitely... carbonation is actually, I think, what helps your stomach. Yeah, is the CO2.
I don't know everything.
Neither do I. But yes, so the first UFO hearings in 50 years happened. Now, we're going to watch a little bit of it right now. Sure. And I'll play this over. But this is basically a 10-minute overview of the first UAP hearing. Now, do I think that Scott Bray and Ronald Moultrie and all of them, did I think that they could have done their homework a little bit more? Because it seems like everybody who was involved in this, only one or two people seemed intelligently backed, like they did their homework, right? Everyone else kind of came in with.
Talking about on the government side or the people that are asking questions? Oh, okay.
Both sides. So the people that were representing the UAP task force, Scott Bray, always just a classic line of his is, we don't have enough. We can't reveal that due to sources and methods. Can't reveal that due to sources and methods. Can't reveal that, or we'll talk about during that.
That's a cop out.
Yeah, very much a cop out. So there was a lot of cringe moments during this hearing. Yeah. But again, we can't say.
The awkward silences where it's like, and then
no
one knows what to say.
But then there's this huge fuck up. They couldn't play a video correctly, like on Windows Media Player. This wasn't even like high-tech shit. It was Windows. I was looking at it, and it's Windows fucking Media Player. They couldn't slow it down the correct way. So they watched it. 25 minutes it took them to get this right. And it was embarrassing. It was and it was like, is this really? But we have.
Like when your class presentation goes wrong, you're like, hey, can I go tomorrow? I think my thing got deleted by accident.
Yeah.
I had this one kid in class. He did half the project and just kind of went up there and was like, I'm gonna wing it. Got to like the last slide he had and he's like, so yeah guys, I didn't finish my project, so I'm just gonna fucking open it up to questions right now. He's like halfway through his like topics.
Jesus
it's like,
Christ.
okay.
But here we go. So let's watch this. And I'm gonna grab a drink while we do.
Move that towards me. I can't see that.
Watch out. Don't fucking let it fall.
I'm not stupid. A little bit.
That by combining appropriately structured collected data with rigorous scientific analysis, any object that we encounter can likely be isolated, characterized, identified, and if necessary, mitigated. With regard to the importance of transparency, the department is fully committed to the principle of openness and accountability to the American people. However, we are also mindful of
in all those sentences, he hasn't said a single thing.
Well, this is the opening.
I know, I'm just saying.
One that enables us to maintain the public's trust while preserving those capabilities that are vital to the support of our service personnel. In closing, the department is committed to this effort and welcomes the challenge. We thank you for your committed support and look forward to your questions.
let me share with you the first video.
So this is the video, by the way, they couldn't get right.
Shows observation.
But this kind of cuts it up. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It took them 25 minutes to get this video correct.
There it was.
There it was.
He's not wrong when he says that in most cases this is what we
And
get.
in many other
Yeah.
cases, we have,
I mean, yeah, no one's an expert photographer. I mean, there are, but
as we detailed in both the
I feel like though everyone's got a phone, dude. You can't fucking figure out how to get a better video.
Well, no, this is. Did you see the thing? So that is
You
taken
can barely
from a
see
phone.
it. I know you can barely see it though. It's like shaky
Yeah.
as fuck though.
They could have brought 22 different videos.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
and
that's a
they chose
shit. That's a
one to
shit
bring.
video. Yeah.
Yeah. This guy is the representative for the task force, and he's a bureaucrat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Phenomena, U.S. government or U.S. industry developmental programs, foreign adversary systems, or a other bin that allows for a holding bin of difficult cases and for the possibility of surprise and potential scientific discovery. Let me show you a couple of another video and image taken years apart in different areas. In this video, U.S. Navy personnel reported what appears to be triangles, some flashing, recorded several years ago, off the coast
Wow.
of the United States. This was
That's a decent
recorded while the
video.
U.S. Navy ship observed a number
This was the
of
footage that Jeremy Corbell
in the area. Importantly,
revealed.
the video was taken
Oh, it actually does look like a little
with
triangle.
a single lens reflex camera.
Now that looks so different though.
Yeah,
the
but
whole
it's an
thing's lighting
optical
up.
illusion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So optically, it looks like it's a triangle, but it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
744, 18 of them reportedly appear to exhibit unusual flight characteristics, appear to demonstrate advanced technology, and some of them appear to remain stationary in winds aloft, move against the wind, maneuver abruptly, or move at considerable speed without discernible means of propulsion. That's pretty intriguing.
Just denying friction altogether. Making a 90-degree turn makes no sense.
In this setting, are we aware of any foreign adversary capable of moving objects without any discernible means of propulsion?
I think I would, without discernible means of propulsion, I would say that we're not aware of any adversary that can move an object without discernible means of propulsion. The question then becomes, in many of these cases where we don't have a discernible means of propulsion in the data that we have, in some cases there is likely sensor artifacts that may be hiding some of that. There's certainly some degree of something that looks like signature management that we have seen from some of these.
What does that mean? Signature management.
So like a signature,
Like maintain on radar?
like something that would say prosaically explain it.
In which there are a small handful in which there are flight characteristics or signature management that we can't explain with the data that we have. We'll continue. Those are obviously the ones that are of most interest to us. Earlier, when we asked about how you avoid technological surprise, the biggest way you avoid technological surprise is by collecting this type of data and by importantly calibrating the assumptions that you go into with how you do that analysis. I'll tell you, within the UAP task force, we have.
I'm gonna skip along a little bit.
See, this makes me think though. Like, all right, so this is the government-appointed
This guy-
task force. That's the head of it right there.
See this guy though? He
Yeah.
asks. He's the one I was talking about. He's the most prepared. This
Okay.
guy is about to ask the questions that need to be asked.
So this guy's not part of the government agency.
He is.
He is.
Mr. Gallagher is a representative of Congress.
Okay.
So basically, the ODNI and the UAP task force sent Scott Bray and another representative to testify in front of
Gotcha.
Congress
Okay. Okay.
and tell basically.
So this is
because
an independent like group though, right? The UAP task force. They're not
UAP
part of the.
task force is part of the government.
They're part of the government.
Yes, it's
Okay.
part of.
And they're reporting their
DoD.
findings basically.
Yes.
Okay.
But so there was 2 hearings. There was a public one that was on public display, and then they did another one after this,
Yeah.
privately.
See, but what I'm getting from this though is like it kind of seems like a fucking show.
Could
You
be
know
a
what I
dog
mean?
and
Like-
pony show.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, because it's like, all right, we're bad at collecting this data. We don't have enough data. We can't do this. We can't do that. I think they have a lot more than they're not telling us.
Of course
a
they
ton
do.
of fucking data.
Of course.
So really, this is just like for us saying like, oh yeah, we don't know as much as you guys think, like yada yada yada. When in reality, they have a real fucking task force that actually has a shitload of data on these fuckers. And this is just like some branch off. It's like, all right, yeah, this is what we're gonna show everyone, but really, it's fucking crazy deep.
Well, that would, and there's historical precedence for this as well. So Project Blue Book was running publicly, right, at once.
Yeah.
But years later, we found out that there was probably, and there most certainly was, another more secret
a real one, yeah.
task force running,
Yeah.
which had access to the more sensitive information.
Yeah, like we have the FBI and the CIA, but we probably have something else.
Yeah.
Some fucking like secret task force that takes down governments.
Or could if needed.
Could if needed, yeah.
Like we always hear about the shadow, the you know, like the SEAL teams that could topple a government overnight.
Well, yeah, it's just like those guys. Like if we have something that we're showing you, we're not showing you everything.
Now there was another case this year that was debuted, or not debuted, but brought public, and it was very interesting because it happened the same year the Nimitz incident happened.
Okay.
But this was on a different ship. I believe it was the Russell. I'm not entirely sure.
Sure, it happens all the fucking time.
Yeah, and basically the crew member and multiple crew members saw this thing, but the one who was leaking the information, or not leaking the information, but telling the information to the reporter was like, you know, I was starboard, and this orange.
I always get that fucked up. Starboard is the front.
Front, yes.
Okay.
So he was at the front of the ship on duty.
You can't use like nautical terms.
Yeah, he was at the front of the
I'm
ship.
a simpleton.
On duty, you know, on patrol, and there was this orange orb, like basically looked. I like how he explains it. He's like, picture the burning bush from the Bible.
Yeah.
And that's what it looked like. He's like a Volkswagen size burning bush, or just hovering over the ship.
A circle.
Like basically a circle, but the edges were undefined. Like it got really fuzzy, and
okay.
He calls it in, reports it, and the captain just seems unimpressed. And then
shut up.
Yeah, no, seems unimpressed, and then not only that, but tells everyone to go about their business as normal, as per usual.
Get the fuck out of here.
I
would feel so like that's got to be a weird feeling.
So
like
the
you
orb
just like
does.
It's literally like that movie Don't Look Up. Like you know it's right above you, but all right.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna look.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna look.
Keep your head buried in the sand. This craft
Terrifying.
or orb or whatever it was then continues to do 3 half circles around the ship and disappears.
Is this like a nuclear like equipped ship? Is that why?
Could be potentially.
Yeah.
Could be. And so it does 3 half circles, disappears without discerning means of propulsion.
Yeah.
The crew member who was at the front
Yeah.
then gets positioned in the back of the ship later upon switching rotation, and the thing shows back up.
Jesus.
Doing the same thing. Reports it. Captain does the same thing.
Now, if it was above the water, you think would it make ripples on the water? Like, is there any sort of shock wave?
No, I mean if you
maybe like some like invisible thing that we can't see in the sky, but maybe on the water.
Well, you'd have to think if this craft is doing the things that it's being reported doing, then the smallest achievement that it could have would be to cancel out that kind of effect, right? I mean, we have a glowing ball of fire that's flying around, and maybe it doesn't cause a ripple in the water. I don't think that I think that's the smallest detail.
Not really, because we shot people into space without knowing how to land them.
That was negligence. There's a complete difference.
You know what I mean, though? Like, maybe you get there before, like, you figured all the details.
If this thing is really what we think it is,
yeah.
and it's from a different dimension, galaxy, planet, etc., so on and so forth,
yeah,
then for it to be able to cancel out some of what you would consider normal characteristics of something that's flying is not going to surprise me. The thing is this something that is of that list, or is it just some sort of man-made advanced drone technology? Because that question and the drone thing is always going to come up every single time from now until forever.
I mean, I think it has to, but like at the same time, that's a stretch.
Something that illuminates or has some sort of lighting feature that makes it look like a UFO, so that another country can see how we would react.
All right, well, let me pose you this question then. Like, if we have that technology, we're able to move around like that, wouldn't that make life on Earth so much easier and make these people, whoever, like, running the show, more money if they're able to fucking move people and equipment and all this shit around the world so quickly? Like, why would they bottle up that kind of information?
You would think so, right?
I understand bottle up some of it because they're like, all right, we can't give these guys free energy because then we don't fucking make any money off the energy. Cool. Get your
That's
logic.
not cool, by the way.
Not cool. I get your logic
It's
there.
fucking terrible.
You know what I mean? I can
criminal.
follow that train of thought though. If I'm a fucked up like superpower dude.
Yeah.
But like,
if you're like an
some of the
oil
thing-
tycoon.
Yeah, but some of the things is like, if you can like cure all these diseases or you can fucking move people around, it's like
Criminal to hold that information.
it is
hostage.
criminal. But it's like, why? If you want more, if you want to fucking keep making that money, why the fuck would you hold back technology that could make you more money?
People say that they're so stuck in their ways that they can't see how that would make more money than what they're already doing.
Because they're making fucking astronomical amount of money.
Right.
They're already making money that doesn't even make sense.
The hope
Like,
is.
you can't even, dude, if you saw $1 billion, it'd fucking blow your mind. Like, $1 billion just sitting there.
Even if you saw it in your checking account,
Well,
just the
it's a
number alone.
ridiculous fucking number.
just the number alone.
And then you times that by the hundreds and thousands of billions they're fucking making. Jesus Christ. It's like, how could you even get any more?
And that's why it like occurred to me the other day is like, say there are these people that are holding this information hostage for the benefit of themselves only.
Yeah. Or their idea of a benefit to society. Or whatever.
Right.
Whatever their fucking
They think
ideology,
they're
crazy
righteous.
ideology
Yeah,
is,
they think they're righteous for keeping the world running on fossil fuels, right? Because that's what's we know.
Well, I mean, maybe you
It's a
gotta
normalcy
break
bias.
something so you can fix it for them.
Yeah, it's the normalcy
Like
bias.
a fucking mechanic. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking loosen this bolt over here. So next month they're gonna have to come back in and I'll fix that. You know, fuck something up over here. So next month they're gonna come back. I'll fix that.
Do you think that what in your heart? What do you in your heart when I say to you, does the U.S. government have the technology to change the world, and they're holding it back?
Well, maybe not just the U.S. government. Maybe it's a fucking plan thing.
But I'm saying,
dude,
what comes to your
I'm
mind?
always that person that was like, yeah, I'm gonna question absolutely everything you say, everything that comes out of your mouth, because it's like everyone's spitting. Because everyone's spitting some sort of bullshit, though. You know what I mean?
Because every time you say the name of your own show, you have to do a cheers. So why we would want? Why would we want to question everything? Because we want total disclosure.
Yes, sir.
Total, absolute disclosure. That's why, my friends.
Mm-hmm.
So question everything.
Gotta have that.
Because
sort of mindset.
again, this government, this land, this ideology of the United States is a government that's by the people and for the people. And we have gone so
it's
far away
not.
from that.
Yeah, it's not.
We have strayed so far away from that it's not funny.
Yeah.
And it's a very, very serious thing.
You know-
and what my issue is that in order for us to get the government to play ball,
Yeah.
we're going to have to meet them halfway.
Yeah.
Does that mean pardoning all that came before?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably going to be the case, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to be a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow.
Well,
But
yeah, we just
we
twisted
can't
everything,
expect
though.
people to be like, yes, I'm a criminal,
Yeah.
right? And lock me up and take away all my family's stability, right? Because it's not going to happen. They're not going to play ball, and the information will just continue to be kept secret. However, if we go, that's why Stephen Bassett is joining us next Sunday. Shout out to Stephen Bassett. You're going to finally get to talk with him, so,
Cool.
bring your A game. This guy is just so knowledgeable, and he is I would say the leading authority in what we're discussing right now is meeting them halfway and knowing how to talk the game.
Yeah.
Right? So when you get to hear him speak, you'll know what I mean. But by the way, this month of January is going to be fire because we have next week, well, first off, we're kicking it off with you and I, the way it should be,
Yes,
right
sir.
in studio. It's the new year. It's the first episode of the
The
new
way
year.
it should be. You
right?
gotta come visit me down there.
I will.
You got it, man.
I will. And next month I'm going to Catalina Island, which I'm super fucking excited
That's
for.
dope. That's
So
dope.
I'm gonna get some dope ass footage. Maybe, hey, you never know what you might see
Where's Catalina again?
off the coast of.
I know it's California, but where?
I'll show you right now. Let's show everybody. God, I can't see it.
Because the only way I know Catalina, we were saying this earlier, is Step Brothers. Catalina wine mixer.
You didn't know Catalina Island
but, like,
was an actual
you know
island.
what I mean? Like
that was the dumbest thing you've ever
no,
fucking
some
said.
of the some islands are like, all right, right
You-
off the fucking coast.
cannot
Like
be a-
Staten Island's barely
Look,
a
so
fucking
look,
island.
look,
It's
look,
right next to the fucking
look.
mainland. That's a little bit out.
So San Diego's here, Catalina's there. So what Marlena and I are doing is we're staying in Los Angeles, and we're gonna take the ferry to Catalina Island every day.
That's cool.
So we saved a bunch of money not actually staying.
So
on
is there
the island.
hotels on Catalina Island?
There are, but
Yeah.
you pay an extra $1,000 a night.
So it's kind of like a Martha's Vineyard type deal.
So yeah, so we're going for 5 days. We're gonna do Catalina Island on 3 of them, and then we're gonna go see my cousin in San Diego, which is down here.
Cool.
1 day, so that's 4 days, and on the 5th day, we're gonna do like Hollywood and Universal.
I've always wanted to drive up the Pacific Coast Highway,
Oh, it's,
like on that cliff, dude.
it's terrible.
I know
it's
it's scary
terrible.
as fuck, but
No,
like,
it's not scary. Just the California highway system
bad.
is awful.
Really.
Yes, the 405 is the worst highway
Never
in
been.
the world.
I've always wanted to go to California. Never been.
You never been?
Dude, I've been all over the U.S. Never there.
Oh, I've driven cross country.
I've been to like maybe half the states.
Okay.
Probably more than half, actually.
But Catalina Island is very beautiful. Now check it out. This is like a tropical island, dude. You know?
Yeah, that's dope.
I mean, this is no joke.
And there's a base on there.
There's no base on Catalina Island, no.
Oh,
The
it
Nimitz.
it was just near there.
The battle group
Yeah.
do training exercise in those waters.
Oh, okay,
In the
gotcha.
in the South Pacific.
Yeah.
So I mean, look at this place. It's just gorgeous.
That's not the South Pacific.
Huh?
Is that considered the South Pacific? No,
Yes.
it's North Pacific.
It's not the North Pacific.
Isn't like Oregon the Pacific Northwest?
Look. South.
I mean, when I think South Pacific, I think like Polynesian islands and shit.
Oh yeah, I guess you could say that. But yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe it's more mid, but it's not north because north is up by like Washington, Canada,
Yeah, yeah.
like
I know.
Alaska. That's the North Pacific, right? The South Pacific is San Diego is Southern California.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, so you start going to the Southern Pacific there.
Sure.
Right, so
Okay.
I mean that's how I've always looked at it.
Yeah.
But I mean the weather.
I'm terrible at geography, so I'm just like, oh,
Yeah,
please.
I'm not great either. Trust me. But all I know is our trip.
Could
is,
you tell me the capital of Vermont?
what?
Capital of Vermont.
Montpelier, I believe.
Yeah, that's the one I always.
Yeah, Montpelier. I'm good with like. I was always good in school. Like I was always good with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Standardized testing, like because my brain
I
focuses.
sucked it. I mean, they always say like people who say it suck at taking tests. That means you're stupid, but
It's
I
not.
was always bad at taking tests.
No, it's not. It just means you don't. Standardized testing isn't your focal
Yeah.
point of learning.
I mean, like, dude, if you like, I could do good on tests. I just always fucking hated them.
Yep, so ready? Santa Catalina Island is a rocky island off the coast of Southern California in the Gulf of Santa Catalina. The island name is often shortened to Catalina Island or just Catalina. The island is 22 miles long and 8 miles across at its greatest width. The island is located about 29 miles southwest of Long Beach, California. The highest point on the island is Mount Orizaba. Geologically, Santa Catalina is part of the Channel Islands.
Is it a volcano?
No, it's not a volcano.
No.
That's like Hawaii. Hawaii's a volcano. Dude, I was watching.
I'm pretty sure all islands are kind of volcanoes, aren't they?
No.
That's how they rise up out of the
That's
sea.
how lots of islands are formed, is
Yeah.
by volcanic, like the magma and the lava.
Yeah, they just keep
float,
erupting and build
and
a fucking like
yeah,
tower.
Well, there's a lot of volcanoes underwater.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's how they rise up out of the sea. Oh,
Right.
shit.
Yes. So I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's sick.
But on to other things. So Travis Taylor. Now, do you know who this is? No. He is the guy from... Sorry, I meant this one. I just want to clap for you because you're just an absolute fool. Travis Taylor is an astrophysicist. I wonder if we have a... Yeah, we do! Like a joke button. So... I love soundboards. By the way, shout out to Zoom for this thing. Because I have another audio... Like, I have a legitimate audio
Zoom,
box
huh?
under us that we could use. But this is, like, my portable one. This is the one I'm bringing on my trip.
Wasn't a Zoom? Didn't they just make like a rival to fucking iPods?
I'm not sure.
Zoom maybe.
I don't know.
S-U-N?
This is Zoom.
I know.
All I know is Zoom makes... So they make... like PodTrack. This is the PodTrack P4, so I love it because you can connect a phone to it to do call-ins. Like, it's so versatile and it's so easy to carry. Like, I could hook that onto my belt if I needed to.
Yeah,
You know
you
what I
told me
mean?
that before. Yeah.
And have a microphone with me. Like,
Yeah.
if I needed to, at the worst case scenario, I have other microphones that are clip-on with battery
Yeah.
packs, but. If worst case scenario, so that thing's great. I highly recommend it, as well as highly recommend a lot of things that I have that not a lot of people can do.
Yeah.
And I'm very fortunate that I have the space to do this, right?
Mhm.
So the show is only getting so much bigger. The show is only doing
Yeah,
so
keep getting
many.
those numbers up, guys.
Last week's episode, I mean, I just couldn't even look at it, right? Like once you start hitting 10,000,
Were you? Yeah.
the last week's episode, I think it pivoted out at right now it's at like 11,000, something like that.
Gee.
The title was ex-CIA
Jesus.
intel officer claims alien arrival by 2027. So yes, I did use like a bait.
Yeah.
I did use a bait title.
That's good. That's good. though.
But I mean, hey, it is what it is. I'm a grifter at the end of the day, right? Hey. Just kidding, guys. I'm not a grifter.
Jesus.
I
You're
do want
fucking-
your money,
you're
though.
cheesy
By the
is
way,
what you
you
are.
know what we need to do? Is we need to start pushing the Patreon a little bit more so we can...
Yeah.
But guys, if you want to support the channel, support the show,
I still don't even know how that works.
either become a member of the channel on YouTube or do it on Patreon. And I'm going to find a way so that we can link it. That way, if you're a member of one, you're also a member of the other, right? Or you at least get the same content. So it doesn't matter what you do. It's going to be $4.99 no matter what it is. So a base price of $4.99 gets you everything. And then if you're a member for a year, we'll send you a sweatshirt or T-shirt of your choice
That's cool.
with the
That's
logo
cool.
on. But you have to be a member for a year because you can't be a member for a month
Yeah.
and then get a T-shirt. The membership price needs to be a certain amount so that it's worth buying the shirt. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's like a business thing, but
Yeah.
that's how we're gonna do it.
And we're gonna up our merchandise game too.
We are. Actually, you know what? So right now, overlay. I just overlaid it.
Mm.
So you and I know what it looks like, but I just overlaid it. So this is the working logo that he's been working on with a friend, and it's the new year, so we wanted to show you guys something new. This is probably what the logo for the Total Disclosure brand will be going forward. It's not finalized. It's like a rough draft version of it.
Yep.
And then Dusty's coming up with a down the rabbit hole logo
Coming soon.
coming soon. So
We got a few of them, man.
Yeah.
My creative mind's going.
and I'll tell you what. I'll make a deal with you guys. If you become a member, once we finalize both logos and we hit finalize on both of them, we'll send stickers to all the members for free. I'll buy them and I'll send them to you.
Like it.
So
I like it.
I'll do that one on the house.
Already getting
Um,
perks, guys.
Yeah, already getting them perks. And then you'll get early access to podcasts. You'll get exclusive content. Once you reach a certain amount of members, then we can do exclusive streams for members to directly engage with us. Like come on in and talk to us, and we'll do those kind of things. The only thing is we got to get to that place before we
Yeah.
can start doing that.
Yeah.
Because when I was doing the movie content, I had 10, 12 members at one point,
Mm-hmm.
and then switched to UFO content, and now I'm at 2. So, and I'm pretty sure the 2 that remain, they just don't know how to cancel.
Yeah.
So,
Oh man, that's
Yeah.
tough. That's tough. Come on,
Yeah.
guys, help him out.
yeah. Oh, also, like it goes, like, for his involvement, I've given him, what, it's very small so far.
Crumbs, but yeah,
Crumbs.
we're
but I do give out. I gave you a microphone.
good. Oh, he's the fucking man. He's
I
the
gave
fucking
you a
man.
microphone. I gave you a camera.
Where you're on your side. We're
Where?
your fucking friends,
Yeah.
alright?
Fucking friends, man. We're friends. We're all friends. But Travis Taylor, we found out this year that he was the chief scientist
Yeah.
for the UAP task force. And not only was he doing that, he helped write the UAP report last year for 2021
Wow.
and was currently featured on the Skinwalker Ranch show.
How'd you meet this guy?
Huh?
How'd you meet this guy?
I haven't met Travis Taylor.
No.
No, I've talked to him.
Oh, really?
I didn't meet him though.
Oh, okay.
I interviewed Caleb Bench, who is also on the ranch,
Gotcha.
and he is putting me in touch with these people.
I would fucking love to go there, man.
Yeah, well,
Did you
that's what
hear,
I'm
like-
eventually working on.
Did you hear about I don't know if it's the Hopi Indians or some Indian tribe, right?
It's the Hopis.
It is the Hopis. They have like a whole like myth story about like they fought like these fucking people and they're like the guardians of the gate between like these dimensions. That
You
is
know
a
what's funny?
fucking reckless story to look into.
So we'll talk about Skinwalker Ranch if you want.
Like I didn't know that was like
Look.
the whole backstory to it. But that was
Skinwalker Ranch and
fucking
UFOs. I have it all right here.
Do
So
it.
ready?
Okay. Tell me
So
your
Green
shit.
Street. So Stephen Greenstreet is a New York Post reporter.
Yeah.
And actually, this ties into Travis Taylor because
Perfect.
Stephen Greenstreet
Red
often
needles.
is criticized by Travis Taylor and vice versa.
Okay.
So they tend to have a slapping match on Twitter a lot.
Yeah.
They they insult each other and stuff like that, and it's kind of funny to watch. But Stephen Greenstreet claims to be a skeptic of the UFO phenomenon.
Mhm.
Now, seemingly he's passing himself as someone who's genuinely intrigued, but not sold. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, fast forward, he reaches out to Brandon Fugel, who is the current owner of Skinwalker Ranch, and asks if he could visit the ranch and do an investigation into the ranch. Now, all this, meanwhile, they have a show on History Channel,
Yeah.
The Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch, where they're doing just that,
Exactly.
investigating
Okay.
the ranch.
Okay.
So
So they're like, why the fuck do we need you?
no,
Huh?
exactly opposite. They
Oh.
say, you're welcomed with open arms.
Really?
Yes, and Stephen Greenstreet is someone who is definitely criticized by the UFO community. So Skinwalker Ranch is a 500-acre property in the Utah, specifically in the Uinta Basin in Utah, and it's described as many as the paranormal Disneyland. Now, inside the Uinta Basin, there's many myths and legends
They slapped
about
that paranormal name on fucking everything, huh? That's like the umbrella term.
for
Like anything that's like goes bump in the night.
yeah, the paranormal is definitely
Yeah.
So Skinwalker Ranch, also a Skinwalker is derived from Native American lore and history, mainly the Navajo tribe, but as well as the
okay.
Utes.
The Utes. Okay.
So we were wrong. It was the Utes. But
Gotcha.
the Navajo, I forget which one it was.
I was actually
one
actually
of the
down in
Native
Arizona and
American
Utah.
tribes-
Dude, they're fucking crazy. Like I love seeing like the Native American culture down there.
But what was happening?
It's still fucking live.
What
bro.
was happening was one of them, either the Utes or the Navajo, were enslaving the other.
I want to say it's the Navajo enslaving the Utes because the Navajo is the bigger tribe. I'm pretty sure.
Right. So that would make sense. So the Utes put a curse on the land where they were being enslaved,
Okay.
and that is the Uinta Basin.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's where Skinwalker Ranch is. So they put this curse on the land, and it was the Skinwalker curse, so that the lands would be haunted by, not haunted, but the Skinwalker is basically a witch that can transform or shapeshift into a wolf-like creature, like a
Okay.
Skinwalker. So
Okay.
that's where it came from. And people say,
So what was the whole thing about? What I was thinking about was like they like had like this story about how they fought these guys and they were like the protectors of this gate.
I don't know.
I fucking swear I heard that.
I
somewhere.
think you're talking about a different thing. I think you're talking about the ant people that came out and brought the Hopi tribe into the caverns and saved them from the flood.
maybe.
And
Yeah,
that they were the
maybe.
guardians of life, and they were also our shepherds of
I don't
life.
know, man.
I think you're just there's a lot of Native American lore.
There's just so much fucking shit floating
Right.
around. It's hard to decipher.
A skinwalker is in essence a creature, but also
so it's basically a
person.
werewolf,
It's a witch who can transform into a
but it takes the form of a wolf.
wolf-like creature. A skinwalker is, but it stands on. It can stand on 2 legs, or it can run like a wolf. So like I don't know. It's maybe we can get a picture.
I love those like obscure like kind of fake videos on YouTube and shit where you see like a skinwalker and it's like this like deer type thing and then it starts running at them. They like a scratchy video of them running away.
Well, did you know that there was? So, last time Yellowstone erupted.
By the way, I believe in Bigfoot. Fuck you all.
Do you? Why?
Why not?
I'm asking you why you believe.
Well-
Don't. Why not? Is not a good enough answer.
Because, dude, I mean, not that I believe in him, but I believe something like that could exist. Because, dude, if we evolve,
Because all the signs point to it being an absolute hoax.
well, yeah. I mean, there's some
Especially
fucking,
the faked footage.
Yeah, everyone's gonna fuck around with it, of course. It's a cool story, but I believe something like that could exist. Where the fact that like we evolved from apes, there's still apes all over the fucking place. Who's to say there wasn't a really big fucking ape that was very obscure, lived in the mountains in the deep forest, and kind of just survived throughout time and never really evolved? It's just like a semi-intelligent ape. Because there's evidence of tons of different sub-human species when we were developing. Like, you had the Cro-Magnon man, you had, like, Neanderthals, and you had Homo sapiens sapien. There was probably a few other ones. There was maybe a giant man-like monkey dude that lived in the mountains and was really hairy because he was evolved for that area.
So I just tweeted out that
Like, it's
we
kind
opened the
of
phone
not that
lines.
crazy of an idea.
No, it's not. It's really not that crazy of an idea.
Like, in the fact that, like, they have a territory. They fucking, when someone comes too close, they start throwing shit at them, breaking stuff. Like, get the fuck out of my zone.
There's actual credence to the fact that
I'm not saying,
there were
like,
giants at one point.
I'm not saying there's a real
And giants. You have to remember that people were smaller.
Huh?
So,
Well, I mean,
like
dude,
ancient hominids.
There's evidence of pygmy people. If there's really fucking small pygmy people,
A
who's
7
to say
foot-
there's not a giant fucking
no,
monkey
no, no.
man?
But a 7-foot tall being.
Like, Gigantopithecus was a real thing.
Yeah.
It was a giant orangutan subspecies that was stood on 2 legs. Look it up. Gigantopithecus.
I will in one moment. Because we know that there were hobbit-sized people.
Yeah.
Ancient hominid that were small, and to them, a 7-foot being would be a giant.
Yeah.
That would be a giant to them.
Sure.
So giant is, perspectively speaking.
Well, Cro-Magnon man, I think was 6 to 7 feet tall. That was a bigger human, and it died off.
We still see people like Andre the Giant who have gigantism,
Yeah.
like that are so fucking big.
Well,
like
I don't know. I
Shaq,
don't know if that's a genetic thing. Like,
It is a genetic thing.
No, but I'm saying like if you have 2.
They
like,
often die.
Like, what happens if 2 dwarfs? I don't know if that's the right term anymore, but yeah, whatever. 2 dwarfs have a child.
I believe it.
Do they make a dwarf child automatically? Is it like a dominant gene or is it a recessive gene? You know what I mean?
don't
Do they have a
know.
regular sized child?
I don't know.
Right?
Hey Siri, if a dwarf and a dwarf have a child, is it automatically going to be a dwarf?
I don't think they're serious. I don't think Siri's that good.
Okay, I found this on the web for if a wolf and a dwarf.
Yeah, a wolf and a dwarf.
Likely going to be a dwarf. Check it out.
Chances of having a dwarf child. Dwarfparents.com. Oh my god. This is a whole fucking thing.
I shouldn't laugh, but that's fucking hilarious.
What are my chances of having a baby with dwarfism? We frequently see incoming search queries related to to dwarf parents. parents always have dwarf children. Since there is a lot of interest in this topic, here's our attempt at making this understandable. Okay, so two average height parents with no history of dwarfism, approximately 1 in 25,000, 0.004% chance.
Okay.
Average height parent and parent with dwarfism,
Yeah.
50% chance of child
That's a big jump.
with.
That's a big jump. Wait.
Yes.
Talking about is the mother or father? Because I think mother's genes are more dominant.
It does.
All right, whatever.
It does go
Keep-
into
all right,
it. It
yeah,
does
keep
go.
Keep going. Keep going to the next one.
It does have that kind of chart, but I'm not going to go into that.
Yeah. Go
So
into
now
the, go
two
into the
parents
dwarves.
with it.
Yeah.
25% chance average height child, 50% chance child born with dwarfism, 25% chance of
Like a really tall one.
25% chance of not living.
Of not living.
Yeah.
That's a big chance.
Jesus Christ.
Yikes, man. So I guess it's an
Wow,
It's
Jesus
all. I mean,
Christ.
that's wild.
That is wild. Now, do you think that it's possible?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it might be possible that like, something like that exists.
Do you think it's possible
low numbers.
that a Bigfoot exists?
In very low numbers,
That
maybe.
still exists.
That still exists. Maybe not. Because we've encroached on almost every major, like, forest area.
But do
You
they
know what I mean,
have
with
different
logging
names?
and
Do you know
stuff.
they have different names for it?
Yeah, different
So-
parts. So, I mean, I think it's very plausible that something like that could have existed. I don't know if it still does, but, like, think about it, dude. It's not
But
that
why
crazy.
haven't we found any bones? Why haven't we found any remains?
Maybe they're a little advanced and they practice burials. I mean, that's kind of a primitive thing to bury your loved one's bones.
Not
You know,
necessarily.
we did that
Neanderthals did it.
That's what I mean.
Neanderthals practiced.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
No, that's what I mean. It's like a kind of like a thing that like is a common trait amongst
Or
like.
what if Bigfoot are alien? That's the whole.
Could-
There's another theory
that they're an
that
advanced
they
race.
no that they're an enslaved race by other occupants, and that they come down to do some of the dirty work.
Okay. Maybe.
They're not, maybe not
then you get
enslaved.
into, like, they get-
Maybe we perceive it as enslavement.
Yeah.
But maybe it's a not I wouldn't say, hate to say host parasite.
Yeah.
But like maybe it's a co-beneficial relationship.
Sure. But then you're getting into like sci-fi shit, which is like I'm trying to take it from like a archaeological type standpoint. There's a possibility that a subhuman species evolved along with us.
Or
maybe didn't evolve- or maybe didn't evolve,
We know
yeah.
that there are other species that
That's
we
what I'm
have
saying.
not
So it's
found
like it could be possible. Like there's enough still. I mean, I'm sure a lot of the stories are faked, or like just people looking for attention. But like some of them might have some truth to them. You never fucking know. I like to think that anything's fucking possible. That the world has a little bit of fucking magic in it. It might. You never fucking know. Like some of these fucking fantastic beasts, they might have fucking actually existed.
I mean, the
Like a
woolly
dragon
mammoth.
or some shit. Like maybe that was
I don't think a
fucking
dragon
real, dude.
existed. But
Who knows? Dude,
I-
they think that fucking dinosaurs might have had feathers.
We
have no
We
fucking
know that
clue.
now. We know that a lot of like
Okay, if they had
T-Rexes.
feathers, that means they might have also had hollow bones. Guess what? Like some of the fucking winged appendages that weren't made of bone might have fucking just rotted away.
True.
So you have a giant animal that could have flown that, we're just looking at the bones that lasted. And the
Yeah.
fossil record is known that it's like we have like a tiny amount of the the amount of animals existed.
There are some people that
So
say
fucking
dinosaurs
maybe,
still
dude.
didn't exist. I hate those people.
They're nuts, yeah.
And then those are the same people that think the Earth is flat.
Well, no. Those are the same people that think the world's like 2,000 years old and they believe strictly in their religion.
Ah, yeah, no, you're right.
They're the type of dudes that are like, yeah, God made heaven and hell all in one day, and it was.
Or in 7
yeah,
days. It was
whatever the fuck
the
it
earth
is.
was
I mean,
created.
I'm Christian, but I stopped going to church when I was in fucking.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
even
was never even.
I'm not even confirmed.
I
I,
wa-
stopped going after my.
I was
communion,
never
think.
confirmed. I never did communion. I never did any of it. My parents.
It was boring, and it was just. There was a lot of bullshit you could kind
my-
of tell even as a kid.
My parents did what most parents don't do or didn't do then,
What?
but do now. and that is they gave me my option.
A choice, yeah.
The
That's what my
choice.
parents did too. They
The
were just like, yeah,
choice.
if you don't want to go, we're not gonna force you.
Yeah, we're not going to force you.
Like we
And
were raised like that,
I
but like
saw-
whatever. Like whenever I went to my grandma's house, though, I had to go to church.
Oh no, I did not.
She was she's hardcore. She still is around, but she's hardcore. She's
yeah,
98,
so
dude.
there is one side of the family
Old
that
school.
went, but they don't even go
It's an
anymore.
old school thing, dude. Like,
Dude,
re-
I could
religion's
see.
kinda
I
been
called
going down
bullshit
and
on
down, I
that
think.
stuff so early on.
Well, yeah.
I was like, this
There's
doesn't
holes,
make
there's holes.
sense.
Dude, you can kind of tell they're like stories to like teach a moral lesson. So they're not fucking meant to be taken literally.
Yeah, they're not.
They never
and that's,
were.
That's my problem with it. Now, what are your thoughts on like the, should we dismiss the Bible altogether?
No.
I don't think so. I think it's very naive to say we should dismiss the Bible
No,
altogether.
it serves a purpose in society. It really
no, I'm talking
does.
about for actual historical events like the flood.
No, because like you said, there's in every story there is like a shred of truth. You know
And
what I mean?
folklore, the best folklore stories
Like you can't just throw the
are
book
based
out,
on a
like-
truth that was like a telephone game.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
and
that
everyone
was
interprets it a
stretched.
different way. Like,
Yes.
like every fucking civilization in the world is a flood story. There's probably a flood. There was probably a big fucking flood.
And I think that's what Graham Hancock
Yeah.
likes to talk about is,
Yeah,
you
and
know,
what's his name?
Randall Carlson.
Randall Carlson. Yeah,
Do you like their studies?
I think their interpretation's probably gonna be proven spot on.
I think I think they're ahead of their time as well.
I mean, yeah, it makes so much more sense, and it's filling in the gaps that like everyone was kind of like ignoring before.
And it's sad to say that we live in a society where that government has a say in science
Well, yeah,
or
but it's also
scientific research.
It's also a safety thing. Like people don't like to fucking feel uncomfortable, and that's an uncomfortable reality that we have to rewrite every history book we've ever written. Like, hey, we were fucking drastically wrong about the timeline. Sorry, guys.
Well, what if also we
and
find
everyone's
out?
gonna be like, wait a minute, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Like, I don't even know who I am anymore.
Yes, and that's the conversation that everyone has to have with themselves.
But they're scared. It's a scary conversation. No one wants to have it.
Okay,
It's
well,
too
what if we find
uncomfortable.
out-
Dude, change. They always say that about change. Change is always uncomfortable.
Okay.
And no one wants to do it because it's so fucking uncomfortable.
After we find out, what
That's why
about
everyone
the
do
day?
that. That's why change is slow and it's fucking hard.
What about the day that we find out if it's true that what we're seeing in the skies,
Yeah.
they're here because they have a direct relationship with us, because they maybe altered some sort of genetic DNA
That
of
wouldn't
the
surprise
past.
people like me and you, but for the vast majority of people, that would completely fuck them sideways. They would not even know what to do with that information. They'd be like, wait a minute, my whole life's a fucking lie. Nothing matters. I'm an experiment. What the fuck?
But I think that's the wrong way to look
My
at
God isn't
that.
real. My place in this world isn't real. Like, what the fuck? Like, they would literally question everything about themselves, everything that ever existed.
And we would have a mass shift in
You'd have
Cognitive
You'd have mayhem
belief.
to start,
chaos.
and whoever made it out would be fucking like the few people that are like had an open mind.
So, anyways, I did want to say that the Dudley Road stuff is leading into a bigger investigation of mine into Salem witch trials as well as UFO sightings.
Love it.
So,
Love
if
it.
you want to work with me on that,
Sure.
I would
Sure.
I would love that.
Sure.
And that's going to be a really fun series. That's going to be like a 5-part. We're going to be interviewing historical people, like people who know about the historical aspects
Yeah,
of
yeah.
it and all that.
Go on the witch tour.
Yeah, we'll do all the tours. We'll do everything. It's only 25 minutes from here.
Yeah. No.
So, and the Dudley Road investigation led me to Salem.
Yeah. You ever hit the Village Tavern?
No.
Oh, good place. Good place.
But anyway, back to it.
Thanks, sir.
So yeah, Stephen Greenstreet, just in general, he is he has made a name for himself being a kind of a skeptic, not completely sold. You know, does very honestly, his content's very, very well made. I've often said that. I've often said that his ability to entertain is there. It's there, and he has something called The Basement Office, where he talks about all this stuff,
Cool.
and he's accredited by the New York Post. So guy's got chops, right?
Yeah.
But he did this whole initial story about Louis Elizondo and the OSAP and ATIP programs. Now, the OSAP program, which was the one that was greenlit by Senator Harry Reid, who was Senate Majority Leader at the time, who then, in turn, went to two other
And
members.
for the dum-dums,
What?
OSAP stands for...
Advanced Aerospace Weapons something application process. Advanced Aerospace Weapons Systems and Application Program. And then ATIP was the declassified name of that program.
Okay.
So ATIP was the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. And that took on... So then... It's so fucking confusing.
On
But-
purpose, probably.
Very much so. ALSAP was the classified,
Yeah.
so top secret. Only a very few people knew about it. It was a special. They wanted to get special access program, and they did. And Bigelow, Robert Bigelow, the billionaire, who is good friends with Harry Reid,
Of course.
got the contract,
Yeah.
bought Skinwalker Ranch from the Sherman family, who claimed that there was UFOs, that there was creatures, that there was poltergeist activity.
So this billionaire bought the ranch.
And then
Yeah.
in that process got awarded a 20 million.
How much land was it?
I have it. It's a 500
500
acre property.
Damn.
It's huge. It's huge.
That's huge.
It is gigantic. So Robert Bigelow buys the
You
ranch.
got Bill Gates buying up all that shit, too.
buys the ranch and then creates NIDS, so the National Institute of Scientific Discovery.
Okay.
And he enlists the help of people like Hal Puthoff, Jacques Vallée, Kit Green, John Alexander, and more. Now, all these people are longtime ufologists and UFO researchers,
Okay.
right? Now, and just UFO people. Jacques Vallée is one of the most,
Okay.
have you ever seen Close Encounters?
Yeah.
So the French scientist in that
Yeah.
is based on Jacques Vallée.
Okay.
So Jacques Vallée is like, just seeing his name accredited to anything is special.
So, okay.
So the NIDS team looked into Skinwalker Ranch before OSAP was ever created.
Gotcha.
So Bigelow was already doing research on the ranch.
And did they find anything? Like anything
So
notable?
in the first few years, no.
No.
During the NIDS time, apparently not a lot was seen.
And what kind of research are we talking about?
We're talking about
just setting up telescopes, looking at the sky,
setting up cameras, detectors, measuring for radiation,
Okay.
temperature inversions, doing
Sure.
actual scientific research.
Gotcha.
But it wasn't until they were awarded the contract by the government later on, and OSAP was created, and James Lakatsky was the head of that,
Yeah.
did they really ramp up the investigation.
Funny ones, money is involved.
Yes. And once that happened, then all of a sudden, all this activity happened. Right? And that's when James Lakatsky and George Knapp wrote the book, Skinwalkers at the Pentagon.
Which means they did find something beforehand. If they
Yes.
got a grant and they got money, they were
Yes.
so they did find shit.
Yes.
So to say they didn't find anything is nah. They didn't. They didn't
Jacques
publicize it, but really they did. And they were like, "Hey guys, we got something here."
Yeah, but there's a there's a lot of people like Stephen Greenstreet who think that this has all been one perpetuated lie.
What do you mean?
He thinks that Skinwalker Ranch is bogus. It's bogus.
The government doesn't just throw money at bogus. I mean, it does, but I don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah.
This is the thing. This is the intriguing part.
Yeah.
Now, this is where I respect Stephen Greenstreet, because he is posing a question that
Question all of it. Yeah.
question all of it.
Yeah.
Because we want total disclosure. Right? So I respect Stephen's endeavor into and guess what? The dude backed it up. Stayed on Skinwalker Ranch alone overnight.
Yeah. How'd that go?
Next to one of the most haunted spots on the ranch, Homestead 2.
And how'd it go?
He's done a 4-part series. The 5th part is coming out, and that's the one where he stays over. They're leading it. The episode that just debuted was the lead up to it,
Yeah.
and now the next episode is the final one where he does the stay over.
Gotcha.
So
gotcha.
I haven't seen it yet, so no one's seen it yet.
Yeah.
But now, what do you think? In your gut, what do you think about Skinwalker Ranch?
I don't know.
The cattle mutilations, the clear evidence, video evidence. There's a lot of video evidence of Skinwalker Ranch over the basin.
Okay.
Like,
so
like lights over the basin.
What are you asking me that I believe? Because I don't believe all of it.
Do you believe that?
Like, are we talking about like
that it's a paranormal Disneyland?
Are there actually like these creatures that shapeshift? Are we talking like there's any activity at all?
By the way, George Knapp said that there was dino beavers. Like, I know.
Dino beaver?
Yeah, he said that there was this bulletproof wolf. Like, they started making crazy claims.
See, and that's where let's like, all right, what are we talking about?
Exactly. Now that is the part where you lose me.
Because if you can pinpoint one thing, like, all right, is there a localized area where you have a lot of alien activity, or you have a lot of paranormal activity, whether that be like some sort of poltergeist or some shit? If you pinpoint it and then you give me evidence, I'll try to believe it, and I'll do my best.
So this is the whole series right here. Part 1. That was the one that just came out. That's part 4.
So are they claiming like all this crazy shit, or are they saying like, all right, what do we want you to believe?
The Stephen Greenstreet he's investigating it to find out for himself.
Okay.
And he's questioning everything.
Good.
And that's what I like about it.
Yeah. So I don't know.
And look at this. And I wrote some stuff down. So the team, NIDS team, and in the book that they wrote,
is this the thing where they're talking about like the cows get abducted and they get turned inside out and shit?
Like cattle mutilation, yeah. So this is what it was said.
So that's where that's all from? And like what about the current, like the crop circles and shit? Is that this whole same area? Or is that just
that's everywhere?
It's a whole different
That's
folk.
everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, but this stuff did happen.
Okay.
So George Knapp, who made some of these claims with Lakatsky about dino beavers and fucking bulletproof wolves,
saying that just sounds ridiculous. Dino beaver
said this to Joe Rogan. We obtained an intriguing body of physical evidence to support many of the accounts described in the book.
Where are they?
Told Knapp when promoting his book, Hunt for the Skinwalker. However, then told Joe Rogan in a separate interview, there's no evidence.
No shit.
So
no shit, there's no fucking dino
that
beaver.
is very peculiar. The Shermans who were the ones who initially made the claims about all of these creatures and sold the ranch to Bigelow. The guy, the man of the house, Sherman, the main Sherman, he was also part of the NIDS team. So he not only benefited by selling the ranch, but then got a job.
Yeah.
So
you know, it's all bullshit.
Right. So what did Sherman get for this? $200,000, a job with NIDS on the ranch, and his name engraved in UFO and paranormal history. There's your motivation.
Bullshit.
There's your motivation.
It's all bullshit.
Right?
See, so what's the original story then? Because the original story is probably a little more along the lines of truth.
The people that owned the ranch before the Shermans never, ever said anything happened on the ranch that was anything.
So it's bullshit.
Peculiar.
It's bullshit.
But then the Shermans moved in and claimed all this activity started right when they moved in. So we go 60 years with nothing. The Shermans move in the 90s.
With not even a fucking blip, and then this. Yeah.
So
so that's bullshit then.
So then 2007, Skinwalker Ranch resurges when James Lakatsky from the DIA visits the ranch.
Yeah.
And has his own experience of paranormal. He says that he saw something floating in the kitchen of Homestead 2
Floating in the kitchen.
This is a defense intelligence agent. This is not someone who's an idiot. So that's all I'm gonna say, right?
See,
He then
you
visits
can go
Harry
into, like, the
Reid.
psycho shit where it's like, okay, he was going there thinking he might see something, then he sees something a little kind of weird, and then like your brain just projects this fucking crazy story along with it.
Okay, very possible.
You know, like
It's very possible.
just this
Your
whole thing
nerves,
sound.
like, you're going to the most haunted place.
Yeah, like
you
you
know?
you go to a place you know it's haunted. You're like, yeah. Oh shit! Something just touched my shoulder.
Right.
Like, come on.
Could be a light aberration, right? Anything. So,
Like, dude, we had this thing up in our house back in Melrose. Like, one of our friends had this haunted house, and we went up to his attic. We set our phones down, and like our phones picked up these like little like specks of like dust on the camera or some shit. And we all went up there, and like something moved, and we all freaked out and ran downstairs.
right, because
It
when
was
you're at that
probably
state of
fucking
vulnerability,
nothing. Yeah.
it's easy to think everything or nothing is everything.
Yeah, or like you're
Right.
alone in the woods and you hear like a fucking like rustle in the bushes. You're like, oh shit, someone's coming to get me.
Right. So after OSAP, Lakatsky teamed up with George Knapp, who is famous for the Bob Lazar story.
Yeah, okay.
Teams up with Knapp, and they authors the 2005 book to write and tell the new story, Skinwalkers at the Pentagon, rehashing similar stories and claims of werewolves, UFOs, paranormal activity, and more. This is also in the Hitchhiker Effect.
Werewolves.
Yeah, and dino beavers. The Hitchhiker Effect is thus birthed. However, this is not a new idea. Stephen Greenstreet, as great of a creator of content as he is far too smug about everything. Far too obnoxious about always bringing up. He's far too obnoxious in the sense that he's always bringing up great points, but he does it with this attitude and smugness.
Like I'm so right.
Like
there's
almost
no other right answer.
kind of laughs at you.
Yeah.
And I think if he didn't do those types of things, he would be such a great asset to this community. Because let's face it, we do have to wean out the liars, the grifters, and the storytellers.
Yeah.
Because 95% of the
can't.
UFO stuff is bullshit. But that last 5%, that's the 5% we need.
Dude, that's a society we live in. If you can make money off something, someone's gonna fucking do it.
I know.
There's no way around that, dude.
And
There's gonna be some people where like you can tell they're genuine, and you just have to go with them. And some people, your bullshit meter goes off, and you gotta fucking turn it off.
so I want to say this. I want to clear some things up. James Lakatsky actually ran ATIP. Now, this things we found out this year.
Okay.
James Lakatsky was actually the person who ran the OSAP program, which was a classified secret name.
Yeah.
The unclassified name for that
ATIP,
same
yeah.
program thus became ATIP
Sure.
in a report from Harry Reid
Okay.
to Congress because they didn't want to say, oh, by the way, we spent some taxpayer money on
So if it's
studying
classified, how do we
Skinwalker
know about
Ranch.
it? Though?
Because
Like
because
OSAP.
because of the 2017 New York Times story.
Gotcha. Okay.
But they labeled it ATIP
Yeah.
and quoted Lou Elizondo as being the person in charge.
Okay.
Now, yes, Lou Elizondo was in charge of a program called ATIP, but they adopted the name from this program.
Yeah, you were talking about that after he got like kicked out of or some shit.
Yeah.
So they
So
lost funding.
so Lou Elizondo ran an unfunded
Yeah.
hobbyist
Yeah.
program called ATIP. So very, very minimal effort,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Like
Basically,
a weekend hobby type.
like
thing.
a weekend, exactly.
Yeah.
And so there's very different things.
Yeah.
Actual money went to the actual money, which this is big because the New York Times got it wrong.
Mm.
The money did not go to ATIP
Yeah.
by ATIP Lou Elizondo. The money went to OSAP James Lakatsky.
Yeah.
So that needs to be rectified and cleared up because Politico and the New York Times both reported as such. And Greenstreet does a good job of
And didn't they like not name their sources or some shit with that one? Because like they had like some fucking like bullshit source.
Well, no, everyone knew their source was Elizondo.
Oh, okay.
I think everyone assumed.
I thought there was like some confliction with like who the source was, and they were like,
well, no one knew who fucking Lou Elizondo was.
oh, okay.
So they didn't. They and then he stepped out of the shadows, and then he was all of a sudden part of To the Stars Academy with Blink-182's Tom DeLonge.
Gotcha, yep.
And then all of a sudden, this guy's parading himself around as the program leader, director of ATIP.
Yeah.
So naturally, people started asking questions. Most notably, John Greenwald Jr.,
Okay.
who is the FOIA king, started asking a lot of questions, and Green Street started thus asking a lot of questions. So I think there's still a lot of fog in that area, but I think Lou Elizondo is definitely credible, right? He definitely... I think his version of ATIP and thus OSAP before it were the predecessors that led to the creation of the UAP task force. And then what we have now, ARROW.
Okay.
So the All Domain Resolution Office.
They fucking love their acronyms, huh?
Yeah, they keep them moving, so you can't guess them. So all of this, we have to thank Harry Reid. The late Harry Reid, the late Senator Harry Reid. If he did not take a chance,
Yeah.
we might not be having this conversation today. So Harry Reid took a lot of criticism for this.
Yeah.
Basically spending taxpayer money to potentially research a hoax.
Yeah. But then again,
But it got the question.
But then again,
it did its
like,
job.
There was
It
enough
got the
reports
question
probably where
in
it was
the
like
news.
it was a hazard. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where it was like, they were in the flight patterns and shit like that. Like, you can't have unidentified things flying around our aircrafts. Up in the sky, like having them almost hit them and shit.
Yeah, well, that is, again, so
And interfering,
we
like-
all have Harry Reid to thank, because without all of his risk-taking,
Yeah.
we're not having this conversation
Yeah.
with Ryan Graves
Sure.
about flight safety
Yeah.
and our pilots in the skies,
Yeah.
potentially crashing into one of these things.
Yeah.
So, again, we have to meet these people halfway. That's the moral of today, right? We need to meet them halfway, because if we don't allow them, maybe they spent money on bullshit, but it got us to the point where we're at right now, having this conversation openly,
Yeah.
without stigmatization.
Well,
So,
there's still stigma, but yeah.
well, you and I are not stigmatized.
Yeah, but if you
I'm
mention,
saying
if you
our
mention-
conversation, there's no stigma in it.
but there is.
And this is coming from you, who has seen a fucking UFO.
But I'm also looking at it from an objective point of view. There is definitely still fucking stigma. You talk about aliens in a conversation,
talking-
you're
no, I know. I get-
automatically
what you're
like,
saying.
you get that eye roll where it's like, okay, here we go.
I get what you're saying. I'm saying in this room, there's no stigma.
No.
Right? Because you've seen a UFO.
No, I'm convinced. I'm forever convinced. But I have to be also like the skeptic, like you said, question everything with this like, all right, like I see your point of view. I see where it's like, okay, I don't believe it. There's not enough evidence. Sure, whatever.
So down the list of things of 2022, we have, and this is kind of where we're gonna wrap up, I suppose.
Mhm.
So again, we have the first UFO hearings in 50 plus years.
Yeah.
Travis Taylor, UAP task force, chief scientist, but also investigating Skinwalker Ranch on a History Channel show. So again, it's just a lot of ties back to Skinwalker Ranch,
Yeah.
right? Then NASA gets into the study. NASA unveils that they will be getting into the UAP study, and they only give it $100,000 budget, which is an absolute joke.
Yeah, it's nothing.
That's a joke.
Spend
But
that on a weekend.
yeah, James Fox, Moment of Contact comes out, very good. NASA also, James Webb Space Telescope reaches its
Yeah.
destination.
Yeah, you see that new picture in Jupiter?
No.
Fucking looks sick. Dude, it looks like it has a shitload of liquid water too. Dude, it's a crazy picture. Yeah, that bitch right there.
Which one? Point at
I
it.
think it's the first one.
Why is everything so small?
Yeah, it's a laptop view.
That says Hubble.
Wait, dude, look at the new one then. Just go to like the browser.
Oh, it's this one.
No, it's not.
What do you mean? It says James Webb's Space Telescope sees Jupiter's rings, moons, and auroras.
Okay, there was a different one where like you literally could see like these blue oceans.
That's
almost.
another one from it, which was absolutely insane.
I don't know which one I saw then. It was fucking wild though. But anyways, it was just like a crazy picture where it's like it kind of it looks like a totally different fucking planet.
If you can find it, send it to me, and I'll put it on. I'll overlay it on the show.
Okay, dude, I saw it was an Instagram post, but I fucking forget what it was.
Doesn't look like that, right? Right?
No. Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever.
I'll find it later.
Yeah. So, So that I think that James Webb Space Telescope is going to be a key in moving forward.
Oh, for sure.
That coupled with Avi Loeb and the Galileo Project announcing a public UFO crash retrieval program. Come on.
That's wild.
That's wild.
That's fucking insane.
Lou Elizondo goes dark. Goes basically dark on social media. Rumored technology from Mazda and other places that are, all right, just drop it for now.
Sorry.
We've talked about the rumored technology from Graham Hancock and Dr. Greer about patents for to get us off fossil fuels. That rumored technology that's out there being patented.
Not gonna happen, but yeah.
Well, it's being open sourced. We just don't know where it is right now. Also, are we living in the sixth mass extinction? Scientists held a symposium.
Yep.
And had a discussion about this. Many credible scientists saying that we are in the midst of a sixth mass extinction. Also, our universe is proven by Nobel Prize winning physicists that our universe is not physically, locally real. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I saw that. I don't know what that means.
I can't wrap my head around that.
Neither can I. My summary, though, my summary here is what I hope to get from 2023 is more hearings. We know that the NDAA language of UAP special access program data collection being taken is going to be taken more often and more seriously. Also is going to allow people that were in special access programs to speak to Congress about the things that they might know that is sensitive, allowing them to basically step aside or step out of their classification and speak to Congress openly, not to the public. There's a discernible difference that we need to make there. They can't go to the New York Times and tell the New York Times.
Yeah.
But they can go to Congress and speak to Congress about the things that they, reverse engineering programs, if they're real.
Yeah.
Bob Lazar could go to, imagine Bob Lazar spoke in front of Congress.
Be wild, yeah.
And it became a reality.
But I think you need someone more than Bob Lazar now. I think you need him, and you need someone more recent that can back it up.
Commander Fravor.
No, I'm not saying
Kevin
I'm
Day
saying someone with a
from the Nimitz.
similar experience that can back that up now.
Yeah, well, that's
and
what
be
we're
all
hoping.
right, we're at this point now, guys.
That's what we're hoping is
Yeah.
that the language that was put into the NDAA
what we said
will
before,
allow
though.
people to be comfortable coming forward.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be immediate.
Well, what we said before, though, it's like they're still not going to let us know at all. They never will. They'll never tell us everything. So
No, they never will.
So
we'll
it's
find out. But FOIA,
some more might trickle through, but I don't know what the 2027 deadline means, but I don't know.
well, that was something entirely different. This is being
Well, no, you're saying they were going to do a lot more disclosure by that point, right?
well, an ex-CIA intelligence officer,
Yeah.
right? this guy is. I mean, this guy is. He's the best of the best. When when you hear him speak, you're like,
and he gave
this
that
guy knows
timeline.
what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He says he's hearing rumblings, and it correlates with other data and evidence that he has that says that by 2027 something big is going to happen, and this alien reveal we think is what it's going to be.
So if he's saying that, I feel like that's more or less not the government choice. It's more like maybe
they're
the
being
alien
forced.
race choice, being like, hey, like we're gonna fucking show ourselves whether you like it or not. Like you guys
What
are
if we're
you guys
being
are going
forced?
off the fucking rails, and we need to pump the brakes.
That's another great thing. A great thing to talk about is because and what if we're being trickled information to allow us to better cope with something that's about to happen?
I think it definitely is. It's definitely a slow desensitization of it.
They're shaping and molding the public.
Yeah, they're
like I
getting
said,
you used to
like,
it. They trickle it in, bro. They're
what did I
programming
say
you to
at the
like
beginning?
know, like, okay, there's something else out there. Even in fucking like cartoons, I'm sure they're fucking like saying some crazy shit that I don't watch cartoons these days, but I'm sure they're saying some crazy shit about like, hey, like there might be aliens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got the Pope saying it. Other stuff, right?
Wait,
again,
didn't that guy just die?
The previous one did, yes.
Oh,
the one that resigned.
Oh, gotcha.
So he served from 2003 or 2005 to 2013 and resigned.
Yeah.
By the way, is
Dude, you can do a whole podcast on how fucking crazy the Vatican is too.
yeah. He was the first pope to resign in centuries.
Yeah.
Like no one understood it because usually the pope serves until death.
Yeah.
And this guy was like, I am done.
It's like I want to spend my last year like
Fucking.
or just
literally fucking.
Well, probably, but like just living.
Just living, yeah. But so it was the Pope after him that said that.
Yeah, he's like the cool Pope, right?
He's the coolest Pope ever.
Yeah.
This guy's like, dude, we'll baptize aliens. Like straight up. Like, wouldn't that be a sight to see?
That'd be fucking
just
wild,
the Pope dipping an alien into
little
holy water.
Little alien baby.
Oh my god, that'd be crazy. Imagine that shit. Oh my god, that'd be wild. What a wild scenario that would be. So yeah, I just want to see this being taken more serious in the science and research fields, and I think it is. I think we are on the right track currently. I also wanted to talk about something that we don't really have the green light to talk about yet, but there is something that is going to be announced by the end of this month that you and I are a part of that is going to take something forward. It's going to allow us to do some pretty crazy shit, and it has to do with TV.
Good shit.
So there's your little tidbit of news. So maybe we'll make contact. I don't know. Make contact on TV.
Be fucking sick.
Wouldn't that be sick?
Dude,
but
I get beamed up, bro.
What are your final thoughts on 2022 as a whole?
Tough year, but happy we're through it.
What do you see going forward in 2023? Do you see more openness, more disclosure, more?
I think we're leaning towards that direction. I think a lot more people are starting to be like a little more curious, a little more open to shit. Like the fact that like they were able to make ancient apocalypse and have that be such a mainstream thing, and people are really opening their eyes to like some new archaeology ideas and how like we might be a lot more advanced and older than we thought. I feel like that leads kind of into some sort of alien play, and that's us, moving towards some sort of direction where we're a little more open-minded. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I want. That's all I really want is people to be open-minded.
Yeah, and I think as the old guard dies out, the new guard coming in.
Yeah, there's definitely some gatekeeping
so many
still,
more open. Yeah, very much gatekeepers. And by the way, to circle back and to bring this full circle, as I said earlier, any of these topics would be major news 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And
crazy shit.
we have this many in 1 year. So
there's more to come.
This is evidence right here.
Yeah, there's an increase.
No, this is evidence right here that the public is being molded.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. So, guys, make sure to leave this podcaster and this podcast, these podcasters and this podcast, a review on Apple or Spotify, with some words of encouragement. Give us a 5-star review and let us know what you think of the show. It truly helps the algorithm, and it helps us get seen by bigger, broader, and more more engageable audiences. It truly does help, and it doesn't cost anything. It's literally free to review the show. So if that's all you can do, then please do that. Share us with your friends, your family, your frenemies. Who cares? Your brother, your sister, your mother, your uncle. It doesn't matter to me as long as we get shared, right? That's also free. And if you want to go a step further and you want to support the channel, in the link in the description below is our Patreon and YouTube memberships, both $4.99, and that you can support the channel monetarily. And with Super Chats, you can donate what you feel the show is worth to you. So if you want to help us out, help us make this show bigger, better, and badder, then that's how we're going to do it. And I can only say good things about all of it right now. The transition has gone so smoothly, and 2023 is going to be our first year full of UFO content. And we're going to be going to conferences. We're going to be going to places you wouldn't even, I'm going to Catalina next month to do some footage shooting and a vacation. Things are only going to get just crazy from here.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so,
sir.
Yeah, here's to 2023. 2023.
I just gotta say real quick, you gotta fucking future in some of those like end of advertisement reads where you're just like reading shit off real quick. Oh, and this product has so and so side effects. Fucking just rattling shit off. I love it.
Yeah, I can go.
Kid's a pro.
I can go unscripted for a while. I've had to do shows by myself, like 90-minute shows by myself.
Yeah, bro.
I've learned to just talk.
You got the rant skill for sure, but the dude, it's like you're quick with it. Like
I'm very
Busta
quick
Rhymes, bro. Just fucking.
Yes. So you can find all of our social media in the description below as well.
Yes, sir.
Dusty doesn't have social media because he's still a weirdo.
Yeah, go fuck yourselves.
What will you? Bring us out. Keep your eyes to the sky, and we'll see you next time. Is what you're supposed to say.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all for us. Keep your eyes to the sky and keep out for us.